my name is Jennifer and welcome to House 3 of Rory's Build Challenge. This was the April challenge, which I actually did get the build completed in April, and I'm doing the voiceover on April 30th, but with my slow internet, this is going to be going up on May 1st. So the first part is just me building the basic layout of the house, and then I realized I should add some lights so I can see what I'm doing, and so when you're watching, you can see a little bit what's going on. And initially I started with the green, which is what I think in the picture of the house it has. I think I go back and I change it to red. So really that's all that's going on right now is the build of the house. I am sort of new-ish to building in Sims 4 or Sims in general. I always built my houses, but I just usually made boxes, which this house is kind of the basic shape of the house is a box. That's the floor plan, but of course it has a porch off the front and a porch off the back, which adds a little bit of interest to the shape dimension. And this is where I chose that red door, and so that I decided to change the windows with the shutters to be red, which is my favorite color. And that did take a little bit of time to try and figure out the placement of the door, just so that it seemed to line up with where it looked like it was in the picture, which I do look at while I'm building. And then the porch on the back is a bit wider than the front, so I just tried to do that. It actually ends up being a very large house, so it took me a long time to decorate it. I probably could have scaled it down a little bit, but I was trying to keep the proportions similar to the floor plan that was there. And here I'm trying to do the roof the best that I can to match the picture. And roofs are, as always, as I've said before, not my strong point. I always liked auto roofs. That was my friend in the previous Sims game, but at least I think they're not that bad to do in Sims 4 because they have the reasonable tools for building them. The ability to like make them higher and lower and curve them, and even the where they hang over, where you can make them shorter or longer on the ones that have that. That's kind of neat. But so here I'm doing the windows with the red shutters again. Of course, at the sides and back of the house you can't actually see the windows, but on the floor plan you can see the placement of the windows, and that's sort of what I was going off of for where to place the rest of the windows in the house. And then I decide to put a double door into the bathroom, and then I end up using that in a few other places. I don't remember if I keep that double door in the bathroom. I guess I must, but I do put a double door into the bedrooms also. But in some places I have single doors. And then I put archways into those. There's the place for a shower and place for a toilet, and I thought it would be better to have an archway as opposed to an actual door. Now I start on the kitchen, and I'm actually starting to do the furnishing of the place. So with amazing how speeding up can make it be a lot quicker. So I opt for that countertop. I can't remember where. If I look here, if I can see, that's a base game countertop, I'm pretty sure. As opposed to the one from Vampire Pack, seems to me kind of similar. And then I do an island, which is in the floor plan. They have an island, because I do lay out the fridge and whatnot in the floor plan in the same location. So that's kind of that, and that takes me a little bit of time to figure out. That is supposed to be a pantry. I don't know if I end up leaving that as a pantry, because it just seems like, with all the different appliances and whatnot in Sims 4 take up a lot of space. They all have to have their own countertop. Unlike in real life where you can like jam things together. Can't do that in Sims. So I can't remember if I leave that like that or if I take that out. I just don't recall. We'll see when we get to it. Because I probably wanted somewhere possibly to put a microwave, which I actually don't use in the game very much, except for with toddlers. It allows you to do some foods for the toddlers. And then I zoomed out to show where I placed the door, because I realized I should probably get that in just to make sure I had everything in the right location. And see, these windows are slightly different, but I figured it's nice to have some natural light, and those windows let in better light into the kitchen area, or the dining area to be more specific, because that's actually where the dining table is going to go. And I do wish they would have a square dining table, so I just move objects on to essentially make a big square table. Because I didn't want a long one in the space. The space seemed more suitable to a square table. And I did create a family that are probably out at the front, so that I had an idea of who was going to live in this house when I was building it. I like to do that. So the family is a family I played with, and it's a young couple, and the girls, the wife's young sister who is a child, and they have 2 toddlers. So that's who's going to be living in the house, and that's why there's 2 high chairs there. Even though in the game I actually find high chairs are kind of a nuisance because they'll autonomously go put the toddlers in the high chairs and waste time. So I often won't actually put them in the game, especially if I'm playing on a normal lifespan. Then I prefer not to have them. If I'm on a longer lifespan, then it doesn't really matter whether they're wasting a little bit of time. It's not a big deal. So I will put them in those game files. And I put a spot there for a closet, and I choose a fireplace and go through the colors and pick the red that sort of matches the red in the door. And just in general, as I've said before, red is my favorite color. And that's the kids stuff pack bookcases, and I have the archways going into that area, and I start with red there, but then in the end later on I change it. And so I add some wood flooring, which I tend to put the same color of wood flooring through the house, and then I'll just mix it up a little bit with some area rugs and whatnot, and I pick the tile that I like and I put that through the house. I find that just kind of easier to do. And to be honest, if I was doing a house in real life, I'd probably do the same thing. I don't think it's uncommon. When I've seen shows where they're, renovating houses or whatnot, they often will use the same, say, wood through the house. In our house, we have the same wood and the same tile in the house. But, and that was just how it came. I didn't even do that. But I did end up changing the backsplash tile behind the fireplace there to a gray. I thought it was better than the sort of red, and the red was just too much. And then a little bit of gray on the floor. But let's see I'm picking a couch. Now, I tend to always pick the best couch if I have the money, because of course there is no simoleon limits in this game. And I think this house is $250 to $275 is what it cost in the end. But I just thought I would not just use the most comfortable furniture, which is what I often use, but I still went for sort of a higher end piece of furniture, but they match, and they're in that red. But I didn't want to put red in the carpet because I wanted some contrast. And I'm trying to look. I like to have a mirror. In real life, it's good to have a mirror at the door so that when as you're going out, you can check that your hair is okay and whatnot. So I tend to like to do that in my Sims games too. And I was looking for a clock. I think I moved that later. That's from the bowling stuff pack. And then I want to put a piano, so I figure that chess table is not in the best spot. I've actually had problems. I usually put them back to back with a couch when you have a tight space, but I did that in a particular game file and they just couldn't get in. One sim could get into play, but no one else could get in and play with them, and I didn't understand because normally they should be able to, but they seem to be having a routing issue. And as soon as I moved it slightly away from the couch, they were able to be in there. And now this room that I'm decorating is going to be the toddler's room, as you can probably tell by the wallpaper and the toddler-sized beds. In the floor plan, it's supposed to be like a spare room, but because this is the side of the house with the master bedroom, I thought it was better to put the toddlers on that side so that they were closer to their parents as opposed to being like really far away. And obviously when they got older, they could move over to the other side of the house where the other bedrooms are. But because there's the Sim's sister who is a child as well as toddler twins, really in reality when they got older they might want to have their own bedroom, so all the rooms become bedrooms in the house and there is no spare room per se. But at the moment, this is what was supposed to be sort of the spare room to use for whatever you wanted, and I made it into the toddler bedroom so they could be closer to their parents. And I put some toys out, which of course as soon as they start playing in real life, they'll put those away, but I thought they looked cute out on display. And this is supposed to be the laundry room, and I make it into as you can see, there's a dollhouse and some kids stuff in here, so I make it into a playroom, a small playroom. I like to put the dollhouses in a room where you can lock the door so that when people come over the house, they don't have access to it. So the only people who can damage the dollhouse are people who live in the house, as opposed to random Sims who come over. So I've taken to doing that, and now I'm on the parents' bedroom, which is on the same side of the house as the toddlers, as I said. And I'm pretty sure that bed is from the Vintage Glamour Stuff Pack, which I like some of the extra beds because they're decent quality, but also means you don't always have to have that Princess Cordelia bed to get a good quality bed. And I'm trying to figure out what color, so I go with the blue. It actually matches exactly, pretty much, to the bed, which is pretty amazing. And I'm just trying to look for some pictures and some decorations. I kind of like having a contrast wall behind the bed, or in just various rooms, just to have a splash of color, but not make the whole room that dark color, or whatever the dark color is. I do end up moving that floor mirror to another location. I delete it here, but then I grab it back out and put it on the other corner of the room. And when I went around and took pictures of this room, I realized that there's the wall beside, or now that's in front of us, it doesn't really have any paintings on it, or enough of them, so I end up adding some, but I do that off camera. So in the screenshots, you may or may not see the pictures, I can't remember, but there is a picture in the actual house that I've uploaded to the gallery. So here I add, like I said, I just change it up. Even though the floors are the same, I just add some area rugs to the room to make them a little different from each other. Kind of that little round sun-like rug from Vintage Glamour Stuff Pack is kind of a fun one to add, overlaid with other rugs, different types of rugs, just adds a sort of splash of color and makes it a bit fun. I think that's the light that I just put in overhead in the family in the bedroom, which now I'm already onto the bathroom, is also from Vintage Glamour Stuff. And so here I'm doing the bathroom, and I'm trying to figure out what tiles to use. I originally was going to try and use the same one as I had in the kitchen, but instead I just used the same color palette, but use an actual different one from the Spa Day pack. So this bathroom is very much influenced by Spa Day. Other than the shower, I don't think it is, but the actual, like the tiles and the sinks and the floor and wall tiles are, I went over and got the rug that I had somewhere else and thought I would use it here. I don't know if I do, if I end up using that, or I must, yeah, I do, because I thought, it'd be nice to have a fluffy, because it looks kind of fluffy, and it would be nice to have that when you're coming out of a bathtub to be standing on. And I put some, robes, which I'm pretty sure, are they from Spa Day? I'm not sure, but, I missed that. I'm just grabbing some towels and whatnot. When I did the last one, there was a price limit to it, so at the end I didn't add towels and everything because I ran out of money. But this one I went well over what the limit was on the last house, but I think it's because I made the house quite big. But I was sort of scaling it off of the fact that this master bathroom was supposed to have a little room for the shower, or it was supposed to look like a double shower, because it looked like the space for the shower in the floor plan is the same as the space for the toilet. So unfortunately we don't have double showers in the game, so I just made it so there was like a walk-in space like that where the shower was in there. Their room seems to get a lot of vintage glamour stuff, because there's the vanity table and the closet. That's the master, that's supposed to be the walk-in closet. And I instead just put that closet from Get Together and then just make it like a makeup area and a dressing room thing where there's the mirrors and that little wall thing is supposed to be in a bathroom, but I thought it made sense to have it off the bathroom in that master bedroom closet. And I put some shelves here and add some clutter. I tried to put some clutter on the sinks, which I've been able to do in the past, but didn't seem to manage it here. And now I'm over to, I think this is only supposed to be a powder room on the floor plan, but I made it into a full bathroom because with, 4 Sims in the house, I figured you needed an actual other full bathroom as opposed to just a powder room. And I had some potty chairs, as you can see, and some little knickknacks and stuff. I think I changed this a little bit later, but I can't remember if I ended up doing that off camera because something's glitching and it doesn't work properly. But that's it for that bathroom. I come back here and I add some decorations. I think when I was in the bathroom I was like, there's that, I should go and decorate the toddler room. I'm prone to doing that when I build. If I get into the decorations and I see something, I'll go back where I was before and add some things. And I put those ones in because it's like, we'll say that they are, the blinds are cordless, so they're okay to have over a toddler's bed, whereas the curtains just struck me as something that in real life would be dangerous to have right over where a toddler is sleeping. So I went with that. And now I'm back putting some knickknacks and stuff in the kitchen, in the dining area. That's the thing with the using the move objects to put the tables together, that you can't put something right in the middle of the table, which is why I would like it if they just had a bigger table. And I add these lights here, which you can kind of see when you're in I should have moved them up a little bit. It was just to give more light, like essentially under counter cabinet lights. But I wish they had a nicer looking thing that you could use it as an under cabinet light in the game. And I don't use CC, so maybe there is something in there, but when you don't use CC, you kind of have what's in the game, and that was the best I could do. There is a light you unlock when you're in the painter career, and it might be better for under cabinet light, but I didn't unlock that. Well, see, I did actually I did end up getting rid of that, and I put like double cupboards there, but I put a microwave in there instead. I can't remember, I kept playing with different things, so I ended up putting that's from the backyard stuff, I think, that tray. It's either from backyard stuff or it's from Spa Day, because they both have 2 different types of trays, and they have different drinks that you can get depending on which one you use. And I realized on the floor plan there was a door, so I put a door that goes through the what's supposed to be the laundry room, and then I copied the bathroom so that I didn't have to fully build it again, and then I just changed it up a little bit, is what I did. And I put a shower in here instead of a tub, because the window location was different in this room, because the other one there is no window in the bathroom. Now, this is supposed to be like double closets, but I figured you don't need that in the game, and instead I used those little spots there to put desks. And this is the room that ends up being the little girl's room, but I like to use double beds because they don't end up having monsters under the bed when you use a double bed. I know if you use a single bed, you can use the lights, but they don't always work. Though if I do have a single bed, I often will put like another little wall light and make sure that it's always left on, and then I find I don't have monsters under the bed either, because I think that's essentially what the special light is supposed to do. Is it's not supposed to go off when you have like auto lights for the whole house. It's supposed to stay on, but at different times it doesn't work. Only the main color works. It depends on your game file, so I just can't be bothered dealing with monsters under the bed. So I either use a double bed, like I have done in this room, because it is a little girl who's in this room, or like I said, I put another light in the room and I make sure that I enable that it is always on. It doesn't get turned off with the auto lights. So that, I find, helps cut down on monsters under the bed, and they don't come and wake them up. So like I said, I put a little computer in that little nook there. I could have decorated it and put like the things they have in the game to make it the hanging clothes and stuff, but I just figured I'd make it more practical and actually be something that can be used in the game. A little speck there, if you can see it, is actually a violin, and I decided she wasn't going to be completely girly, even though she has pink. Even if you like pink doesn't mean you don't like sports and whatnot, so I put a pile of the sporting equipment on the ground there, and I ended up putting a couple of posters on the wall that are sort of sports posters there. Back to the living room, putting some decorations up, paintings, so that the plain walls, I'm just putting them everywhere. And now this is supposed to be like the last bedroom, and I end up making it kind of like a guest bedroom. But I decided I'm going to put some curtains around other places. But I'm primarily working here, and I put on another computer because I realized there's no actual computer in the house other than in the little girl's room. So this essentially becomes a guest room / office space, and I don't know why I went back there. I think because I realized I wanted to put a speaker in this room, and so I decided I should put a speaker in the living room in case they have a party or whatnot. So here I am back to this room, and like I said, I do put a bed in there because it's a spare bedroom if anyone, wanted to sleep over, which of course doesn't really happen in the game, but say it did. It'd be nice if they brought that back. They had the ability to have sleepovers with kids, at least in Sims 3. That would be nice to have. I don't remember if they had it in previous games. But I put a treadmill in here too. But I figured even if it's a guest room, they probably would have a dresser, so I threw that dresser there. And the lights. I like those little lights. They provide a lot of light in the game. And a mirror. And this is I'm just sort of fixing things up in the various different spaces. I decided maybe the bathroom needed some paintings, and so now I'm outside. This is the front door, because I can tell by the door, trying to figure out what type of tile I want to use there. I guess I must go with that. So I'm essentially just decorating and putting the columns and whatnot out for the front of the house. So I think I'm pretty much done on the inside. I can't remember if I go back and do anything else on the inside or not, but we'll assume for now we're just doing the outside. And I had it up, so that's why I couldn't really get in there. So then I put the page down to get down, and I added those little benches, or I guess little couches, wicker couches that come from, I think, the backyard stuff pack, but I can't remember. It's one of the backyard packs. So, and I used some train paints to put a path out to the front. Now I wasn't done. I realized I need a garbage can. I realized, oops, I forgot the garbage can in the kitchen. So I get one of the ones that is like the money bin. So if you put the money in it, you get 10 simoleons for everyone in the household. And if the Sims do it themselves, then they get 10 simoleons. And I put that playground there, but this lot is placed in Newcrest, and it's right by the big pirate ship. So later on, I removed that and put in the water slide from the backyard stuff pack, because I don't need that. But there would obviously be room on this lot to have that if you place this somewhere other than in Newcrest or the Newcrest neighborhood. You can see it right there. They're right beside, literally right beside each other. That's when I was like, yeah, I don't think we need that. But you could always put it in if you put this lot somewhere that didn't have access to a playground equipment and you were going to have kids in the game. And here I'm trying to look for some trees, and later on I put some flowers down at the base of it and some train paint and whatnot. I do leave the monkey bars though, even though they are actually right beside the monkey bars on the other side of them. But I leave it on the lot because I find one benefit that you probably don't need that if you actually have the water slide, but is when you take your Sims off and say leave the kids at home, and you can set the tone for what skills you want them to build on. I find if you have a monkey bar on the lot, then they can build their motor skills, but otherwise I have not noticed that they tend to be able to build their motor skills, even though they could technically build it on the computer playing the typing game and whatnot. But I do notice that when I'm given the option, it's usually when I have the monkey bars. Though, like I said, they build motor skill also on that water slide, so I would think probably they would build it just with the water slide on the lot. But I don't know for sure, because I never really paid attention. I don't always use the water slide, because it is pretty massive, and it doesn't fit on all the lots that I have my Sims on. But it's nice to put on sometime, and I'm just doing some train paint along the bottom of the house, which I know lots of people do, and it's just sort of new for me, because I just was never really into terrain paints and landscaping in general. But, and that's where I use the move objects the most, is with landscaping. So I kind of have sort of a messy, I just have it randomly there, not an organized garden, which makes it quicker to do the landscaping. And I figure that the grass is probably dead underneath of the water slide, which you can see there, so I use some under it too. But I think we're actually getting close to being done. I do add a few things to this back patio. As you can see, I have a barbecue there. I don't bother adding a counter or anything, because I find sometimes if you have counters in other spots, the Sims will go and use them, and I just can't be bothered with that. I just want them to work in the kitchen. And like I said, I add a few other things from backyard stuff, the wind chimes and the bird nest, and an easel, because this family actually likes to paint. The girl is a painter, and he is good with handiness, and I always like to have, and here we are in pictures, I put a little speaker by the garden there. And there's the rules of the challenge again, which I started with on the floor plan, and here you can see my floor plan with everything as I have laid it out, which is pretty similar to the floor plan was there, except for, like I said, the laundry room became a playroom, and the spare bonus room became a toddler's room. And there's the master bedroom and the toddler's bedroom and the little girl's room. And you can see the violin in there. And there's my spare room / exercise computer area. And there's a view from the back, and then we'll end with a shot of the back, the house from the back, and the house from the beginning. And from the front we'll go around too. But thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye! If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. I'd love to see them. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks very much.